You know, I like the jazzy intro, Dave.
I love it too, man. Good stuff
So,
today.
welcome to the Rant Network. We are live from two locations, as you can see. I'm in one of my facility offices at noon, as I am Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and David is wearing Mickey Mouse ears, and he's in Montreal, Quebec. And
I'm not
those
wearing
look,
Mickey. Listen, this is not Mickey Mouse ears. Please, I don't want to pay
oh,
Disney
then
any royalty.
but speaking of Mickey Mouse, just for a second, the Hollywood unwavering hatred of conservatives, whether you are a light conservative, heavy conservative, rules for me, but not for thee. You know, I am frustrated. Listen, whether it's Rogan or whether it's this one or that one, people make mistakes in what they say. Frankly, there's more mistakes on the left than there are on the right, but of course we must forgive and forget. Like Whoopi Goldberg, we must forgive and forget Whoopi. She's really at heart a good person. Well, Rogan's also at heart a good person. He has misspoken plenty. But you want to know something? David, I hear you got a lot to say.
Yeah, no, because Stuart, like you know what? To sit there and to count the number of mistakes both sides screw up, we know that. But here's the reality of what's going on today, Stuart. We're seeing, and we use the word liberal and left interchangeably, but I want to thank Bill Maher. We're wrong. The left and the liberals, the real liberals, are not the same. The left, what we're seeing from that Hollywood elite, that spoiled group of actors, actresses, performers, and whatever, who sit there and decide to pontificate from their perches and their palaces and believe that they hold the higher moral ground, that's the left. They're the danger. And Bill Maher, a Democrat, a liberal, has called them out. In a week, it's really been vile in how Hollywood has handled themselves. Three examples. Number one, Kim Jong from the Masked Singer. The Masked Singer is a Fox show. Funny, eh? The host, Nick Cannon, made anti-Semitic remarks and was told, it's okay. Maybe you need some sensitivity training, but it's okay. It's fine. Well, in the taping this week, one of the Masked Singers was former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani. He also happens to be the legal counsel for Donald Trump. Kim Jong, an actor, a putz by my standards, quote, felt disrespected and was livid that he appeared on stage. He was livid because he was with Trump and a conservative. Again, denouncing Rudy Giuliani. Let me remind everybody what Rudy Giuliani did 21 years ago, as mayor of New York during 9/11. And to think that you were disrespected by the man who brought New York together and you're disrespected, Ken, I care about you. Situation number two, and you brought up a Spotify and Joe Rogan. And, frankly, if Neil Young and Joni Mitchell and the rest of them want to go away, that's fine. But that elite attitude of, if you don't take him down and you don't cancel him, we're taking down our music.
But again, but you're talking about the icon walking in the free world.
No,
He doesn't want a free world. He
no,
wants
no.
a special world.
Listen. That's the thing. They want to cancel anybody who's on the right. Now, I agree that, and Joe Rogan admitted that he was wrong in what he said, and they took down those 100 and some episodes. But again, it's a question of do not let him talk. He's a conservative. Now, the third one, which was probably the most irritating, came from Susan Sarandon. I don't know if you heard this, but
Washed off Sarandon?
So unfortunately, it was a sad situation where thousands of officers were lying down Fifth Avenue in honor of Officer Rivera, who was shot and killed while responding to a domestic dispute call. And Sarandon writes, I'm going to tell my kids, this is what fascism looks like. And she took down the tweet and she apologized. But it's this hate, Stuart, that this spoiled, ridiculous, I would almost call it uneducated, uninformed group with a microphone in their face, Stuart, their hate towards the conservatives is so palpable. It's so obvious. I think it's time to cancel them.
David, I gotta tell you, I can't agree more. And the censorship, the bias, the shame on you but not me, the disgusting behavior of even our politicians about our athletes. It's all one-sided. And when they have their fiefdoms and they're filling their pockets, they still expect us, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's amazing. David, I am appalled. We recently got censored by this California Silicon Valley elite. Frankly, I hope law enforcement stops protecting them. Why
You know
accept
what?
their calls? Why should you accept the calls of the people that hate you? You know what? Susan Sarandon, your number should be removed from the 911
No, but
index.
but Stuart, you
No,
know what? I
I
agree
mean,
with. Hold on, but
these
I
people
agree
will
with
never
no, but
learn.
I agree with Risa. And Risa's bringing up a good point. We shouldn't be canceling. I think what we've lost in this world, Stuart, is the right to have an open dialogue. We've lost the respect. You don't listen in government. No matter what you try to do, you have to try to figure out how to cooperate. There are things you need to do together. We have lost the notion of respect. You're either with me or you're against me.
Yeah, but hang on a second. So the Republicans, the conservatives, the independents, the normal people
No, don't
take
call it
the
normal.
high
That's
road. The high, well,
yeah.
I mean, it's not normal anymore. I mean, David, there's no normalization in
No, there
on
isn't.
defunding police, calling police Nazis. I mean, to be honest with you, Susan Sarandon is an anti-Semite. She's calling the modern day police force of New York City Nazism. Are you out of your mind? Susan
Listen.
Sarandon,
It's
you
not
should be.
anti.
No,
It's not.
I'm
That's
done,
not
David. I'm done.
anti-Semitism. That's not anti-Semitism. That's just stupid ignorance. You know what? I'm not going to
calling
excuse her,
calling our
but
calling
but
our
but
very special law enforcement Nazis.
but
Susan
this is
Sarandon's a Nazi.
this is. But you see, the whole thing is, Stuart, and this is where I think you're going off on the wrong thing. Name calling doesn't work. This is not what works. You know, I'm going to tell you, if you ask me, the way the left, and that's why I specifically say the left is working in Hollywood, is the exact opposite of the people that they're accusing us of being. They're calling us white supremacists. They're saying all conservatives are racists and should be canceled. And it's interesting because if you look in the mirror, this is, what they are doing is no different than what white supremacists they claim to be. Because what do white supremacists want to do? White supremacists want to get rid of anybody who doesn't conform. So they're doing the same thing. The left is ridiculous. There is at no point should we permit this kind of this kind of dialogue. Either we start talking like human beings again, because humanity has lost its respect for each other. I have a
Yes,
platform in
David,
Twitter and I can say whatever I want.
David, they're not listening to us. They're ignoring. They're like, you know what? I'm going to bridge the two parties. I'm going to bridge two parties by watching, spying, and arresting anyone who doesn't have the same view as myself. And that is the issue with the non-conservatism movement.
No, it's
They
confirmed.
are
The
a
problem.
progressive
No,
woke
no,
movement.
no. Listen, I got to tell you something. When I hear a Bill Maher, and if you don't, like, please listen to a Bill Maher, who is
Well,
a
Bill
liberal and
Maher,
a Democrat.
hang on a
Hold
second.
on, hold on.
He is now becoming an unwoken person
No, but
because
I'll
of
give you
Nick
another. But
Fury.
I'll give you another example. Okay, if you're going to sit here and tell me that Alan Dershowitz, who's a liberal and a Democrat,
Oh boy.
you
No,
know
he's a
what?
Kennedy Democrat. No, he's a
No,
Kennedy
but
Democrat.
hold on. But Stuart, hold on. Even he admitted himself. He says he is more of a modern day Democrat, but because he didn't agree with the left, he was ostracized. He was called a fox puppet. I mean, these is ridiculous. Even calling them themselves. Okay, Sarah Silverman. who's as a hardcore left as you're going to find, said to her fellow leftists, guys, we're losing the battle here because we're no better than the right-wing extremists that you're accusing of. She called them out, and the left said, you're not one of us.
Yeah.
This is what's
This is
going
what I just
on.
said, right? You're not, if you don't agree with me, you're a villain.
You're
And
not
that
when if you're not with me, if you're not
you're
with
against
me, you're against me. Yes, we know that. And this divisiveness is what is the problem. In Hollywood, we
oh,
saw listen, Stuart, look at what happened to actors like Roseanne Barr, Scott Baio, and a lot of other actors and actresses who have conservative inclination. They don't get roles in Hollywood. They're being ostracized. They're
listen,
villainized.
my own cousin, Rupert Hitzik,
Yeah, you're bringing up Rupert again.
who worked on the Kennedy campaign, goes to me and says, why are you so divisive? So much hatred. I'm like, what are you talking about? I love everyone. Hey, Susan Sarandon, if you weren't so divisive, I'd actually like you.
No,
Oh,
but
I may not like you, but I would accept
but
you. But
Stuart,
you're allowed to have you're allowed to have another political view. Listen, Walter Cronkite, we've mentioned him before, always said, you need to have opposing views to really understand the problem. If you drink your Kool-Aid and you don't have a counter step, you'll end up with Adolf Hitler.
but
You'll end
Stuart,
up with a Mussolini. And that's exactly where we're heading with these idiots.
but
Idiots. Idiots. I'm calling
it's
them names.
it's
Narrow-minded,
but you see, but the
self-deprecating.
problem is you can't call them names and then say you hold the high moral high ground. I'm sorry. What we're realizing, okay, unfortunately, in reality is that name calling doesn't work. It doesn't work, okay? Because we're no better than they are. And I'm not going to sit here and say that this one, whatever. Do I agree with Kim Jong, who Ken Jong? Sorry, I keep calling him Kim. Ken Jong,
Dr. Ken.
Dr. Ken Jong,
He's
who
a
walks
doctor.
off.
He's a real
I
medical
know.
doctor.
Yeah, I don't really care what he is. He's just, for him to walk off the set because the former mayor of New York, a revered individual who helped New York 20 years ago, worked on with Donald Trump, and you're offended, and you feel disrespected. You want to know what, Ken? Just walk away. Just walk away. You just walk away. You feel disrespected. Who the hell are you? You're a popular
Exactly.
star, but you are a nobody. To me, you're a nobody.
Listen,
To,
listen.
to
You're a comedian. You're supposed to make me laugh.
You're
If
supposed
I
to
went
entertain
to
me.
you, but hang on, but if I went to you for any political review, I'm sorry, you're a doctor. You
You
know
know what?
medicine. For political poli science, I'll leave that to the professionals. You're not. You're a paid comic. You're an actor. That's it. That's where it ends. Yes, you have an opinion. Yes, you got a right, but you don't have the right to hate people for no reason. You're no better than a Nazi. That's the bottom line. If you want to have
No.
visceral hatred, I'm now blocking everyone out. I'm done. David, I'm fed up. Listen, you're allowed to have another political view. That's acceptable. But the visceral hatred that they convey, you're with me or you're the enemy of the state, is wrong. They're taking the IRS, they're taking the FBI, they're taking the Department of Justice, they're weaponizing them in a political manner, which is unconstitutional. And Hollywood is complicit. Really, Hollywood needs to be censored.
You know what? It's funny because let's go back to what I was saying about Bill Maher, who calls himself a Democrat and calls himself a liberal. He said, quote, let's get this straight. It's not me who's changed. It's the left. A large contingent has gone mental, and I'm willing to call them out. And this is the problem, is that he has simply called them out for what they are, mental. This is not, I'm not name calling here. What I'm saying here is that this is no longer, you use the word normal, there's nowhere to talk, there's no discourse. If you yell louder than me, it doesn't make you right. If you insult me, it doesn't make you right. I'm sorry. And for the Hollywood elite who sits there, spoiled, pampered, and sit there and say, I know better than thee, stay in your palaces and don't come out. Stuart, we've reached our quarter hour.
Again, it's amazing. We always seem to reach our quarter hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're done for this Monday. We're going to be back again on Wednesday. Hopefully, I won't be in my echo chamber in my office, but I'll be in my home office being able to record this, broadcast this live. Now, folks, in case you haven't noticed, but we're expanding our reach, and now we're, as you saw on our screen, we're on Rumble. We're on a lot of other channels. We are growing all the time. Please
We
follow
need
us,
to like
view us,
follow us
please,
on Rumble.
please.
We need to follow us on Rumble.
All right.
Without
Yep.
the follow us on Rumble, we really just need you to do so. Don't be afraid. The left doesn't comb who follows who on Rumble. We need the followers on Rumble. Go to Rumble, search the Rant Network. Please follow our channel. We appreciate it. We're trying to build it even more, give you even more stories, get even more comments, have even more fun. Guys, if you got an idea, please message us, PM us. We do look at all of your messages. Yes, we don't always get a chance to answer all of them. We don't always get a chance to run all the stories. There's a lot of news events that are fluid, and sometimes we have to drop something really juicy for something even more juicy.
Stuart, say goodbye to our friends.
Goodbye, friends.